history of the Curtis Theater. The Curtis Theater was built in 1980. Well, opened in 1980. It was built in 1979, opened in 1980, and so this year we're actually celebrating our 40th season at the Curtis Theater. Well, we have a few shows that come back again and again every year, such as the Alley Cats, and we've been doing a Latin Jazz Festival, a Ragtime Jazz Festival, and also Charles Phoenix's slideshow again and again, year after year. So we reevaluate every year, but they've just been part of our season for several years. And our theater director, Chris Karaoka, is in charge of choosing our programming. And then each of us who are part of the team, if we see a show or we encounter a production company that we really believe in, then we bring ideas to him. And then months before the season starts, we all sit down and we talk about all of the options we have for the season. We look at the calendar and what we have available, and that's how we go through and choose shows. And this year we have some really exciting shows because it's our 40th anniversary. We're producing more shows this year than we have in past seasons. This year is 14, where we usually do 10. September, we have from September 13th through the 29th, we have local playwright Joel Beers' show, Rube. And it's a story about baseball, highly fictionalized. It's about a baseball player, Rube Waddell, who was known for being a little eccentric, let's say. And so Joel tells us the stories about Rube Waddell while also telling us the entire history of baseball. So that one's a lot of fun. It's got a lot of information that's interesting about baseball, but it's also a very funny show and has a lot of great interaction between the characters. So that one's really fun. And the reason that you have to come see Rube at the Curtis Theater is because it was by a local playwright. His name is Joel Beers. He's also a sports writer for the OC Weekly. He has written several wonderful plays, but this one has such a passionate and loving response from those involved in producing it and those who have seen it in the past. People absolutely love Rube. We all love baseball, and so seeing a play about the history of baseball and about this eccentric character who was a real-life player, Rube Waddell, is a fantastic experience for the entire audience. Moving on to October, we have Permanent Record. Permanent Record is a show, it's a one-man show by Pat Hazell, who was a writer on Seinfeld and has also performed on The Tonight Show. And so he goes through his life. You know how when you were a kid and you were always told if you did something wrong, it would always stay on your permanent record? Well, he tells us a little bit about what's still on his permanent record after living his life. So that one's going to be a lot of fun. Later in October, on October 24th through the 27th, we have War of the Worlds. And War of the Worlds is the 1938 radio play by Orson Welles that people in 1938 heard on the radio and thought that the world was actually being invaded by Mars. And so we here at the Curtis are using the original script, but trying to make our audience believe that maybe, just maybe, they're here. So that'll be a good one around Halloween time. In November, we have The Mystery of Edwin Drood. The Mystery of Edwin Drood is Charles Dickens's last unfinished novel that has been turned into a musical stage play. And because he never finished it, well, we don't know what happened in the end. It's a whodunit where we don't know what happened in the end, so we let the audience choose. So it's a musical that has so many different endings. Such a talented group of performers will be performing it because based on who the audience chooses for the criminal, the end changes every night. And so they have new songs to sing and new things to perform based on what the audience says. So it is an amazing show to watch. We're going to have a 22-piece orchestra on stage with our performers, and that's also our chance to celebrate our 40th anniversary here at the Curtis. So with each show, we'll also have champagne and cider and some treats for the audience to celebrate the anniversary with us. And later in November, beginning of December, so November 29th to December 1st, that's the weekend after Thanksgiving, we have Christmas with the Alley Cats. We are wasting no time ringing in the Christmas season. The Alley Cats are the opening act for Jay Leno, and they return to our venue year after year. This show sells out so fast, so please go get your tickets for the Alley Cats right now. They are a fantastic doo-wop group. The Curtis Theater in Brea is such an amazingly beautiful venue, and we're also a very small space with only 199 seats. There are no bad seats in the entire house. It's an affordable way to see theater and to see professionals perform. Support local theater because it's such a different experience than other types of entertainment. It's interactive. It's new. Every time you see it, even if they're always working from the same script, unlike Edwin Drood that will be different every time, it's still not exactly the same. Your money goes directly to support local artists, where it doesn't do that when you're watching television or seeing a movie, and you don't have that personal, intimate experience that you have in theater when you're just watching a movie. You actually get to see these actors in person. You get to see these musicians in person, and it is such a different experience, and it's so moving to be involved in what's going on the stage, and that's amazing. So we are always looking for volunteers at the Curtis Theater. If you go to our website, Curtis Theater, and theater spelled with an R-E at the end, .com, there's a link where you can sign up to be one of our volunteers and get involved in the theater, whether it's selling concessions or working backstage. We're always looking for more help here. And you really have such a sense of community becoming involved in a theater. Any theater, ours or any theater that's near you. There's a family, there's such a passion to put on these shows, and you get so much from volunteering at a theater. We also are always looking for donations for ours or any community theater, and so you can donate directly through our website, or come see a show, support a show, buy some concessions, drop $1 in our donation box, and we'd love to see you here.